people are into. So I always had this idea to remake one of my favorite songs, which is Backstreet's Back with the Backstreet Boys, right?
Great.
So
Excellent.
we had the haunted house set. We had all of the costumes. I had all of the dancers. I got AJ from the Backstreet Boys. I got Lance from Singh. I got all these pieces to like make this sketch.
He's watching right now.
No.
He maybe is.
We shot it for 3 days, and I kept telling them during the shoot, I was like, I want to make sure we're getting the shots that I have in mind, but they're like, oh, because of 360 camera, it would be this far away and all. Ultimately, when I saw it, it was just not what I envisioned. Everyone was so far away from the camera, you couldn't even tell who anyone was. And I was like, I just can't, this is a brain baby of mine that's too precious, so I actually never released it, even though all the pieces were there. And I just wish I had trusted my gut and been like, no, this shouldn't be a 360 video. It shouldn't be
360.
what I know. It shouldn't be, this is not the video to experiment this brand new thing so that still burns me till this.
Wow. Oh my God.
I even paid to use the song. We paid to use the song as well.
I'm so sad for you.
I'm sad, but also I was proud of myself because I was like, oh, you actually really care about your art. You care about your art enough to say no, even though this is everything I wanted because it wasn't executed the way I wanted.
Oh my God, she should redo the video.
How crazy is that? I mean,
tell her to redo the video and we could be in it.
You have the bravery.
Ask her if we can be in it.
Sorry, Lily, just one more second.
Everything okay?
Yep. What did I say?
She could put us in the video with AJ and Lance. Ask her.
I'm not going to ask her that. You know why?
Why?
Because it's a stupid question.
How is that a stupid question? That is an excellent question.
Just let me handle it.
Fine, I'm gonna grab a snack.
I feel like that's a really great segue talking about your book.
Yay! Yay! For those of you that are watching
here.
right now, this camera angle right here, you're on a tripod of 15 of my old books.
But there's the new one.
Oh, you have it too!
Yeah, of course
yes.
I have. Are you kidding? Look at it. I read
the
it.
ultimate sign of preparation.
Yeah, well, Lily, it was really good. I have always known you through a screen, so I know you as the constant hustler, the person that's always happy-go-lucky, the person that I would watch to be like, yes, I need motivation. I wasn't prepared for you to show so much behind the curtain and to be so vulnerable, and I really want to thank you for that because I just think it's cool to see that you're human and that there were things that you struggled with on your journey, and I think that, I think it's important for fans, viewers, and even people who don't even know you to read and feel inspired. What was the impetus to writing it? I
mean, well, first of all, thank you for saying that. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to share a part of myself that I probably am not able to share on video and rants because it is vulnerable, and I feel like it is easier to write in the safety of a book. There's a lot of reasons I wrote this book. I mean, in a lot of interviews, people have asked me this, and I've said, the pandemic was really rough. I think it was rough for everyone. Sure. It was a chance for us to, not a chance, we were forced to look at ourselves and our lives. But I think really it's that, if I'm being real with you, my life has been a little overwhelming, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, whether or not they're in this industry. I never went to school for this job. I made a video, it snowballed to a few videos, it snowballed into a brand, into this career, into this industry, into moving away from my family. And I think throughout all of it, although I do consider myself a very excited and happy person, and that is genuinely who I am, I have struggled a lot with just reining in all the emotions that are associated with my career. Things that no one else in my family has experienced, things that I don't even know how to deal with, I don't know how to even think about. And so I've always struggled with like, where's this place in my mind, this safe space that I can go to when I'm dealing with this overwhelming ride that I'm on. And I've always struggled with that. And I think in my first book and early in my career was very like quotes on the wall, graphic t-shirts. Like it was a lot of, let me surround myself with color and happiness to make sure that my mind is always right. But as I've grown up, I've realized that work really needs to be done deeper. I wanted to create a safe space in my mind that I could return home to no matter what happens in my life. Because I realized I hated being this person that, my video got millions of views, now I'm in a good mood. Oh, my people are being mean to me on the internet, now I'm like questioning every part of my being. Like to fluctuate so much every day is so exhausting. And I thought if I could disassociate myself and really have a place in my mind where I know who I am, this all would become a lot easier. And I did that work through this book. I tried to.
I felt that too. Like, I mean, first off, nobody knows what it is to be a YouTube or an online personality except other online personalities. I mean, and this is not to, like, it sounds so complaining, but people do forget that, like, I'm a writer, I'm a entertainer and an actor, and I run a business, and I put myself out there constantly. Like, it uses all facets of who you are. And the thing that I struggle with is, like, and you mentioned in the book, is like this workaholicism where my identity and self-worth is directly tied into the success. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting, that whole bit about needing to have a relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
And not having those distractions.
Yeah, and I think another thing, like listen, I think when I wrote this book, I'm just gonna be real with you. A lot of people were like, "Why are you're not a life coach? Like, why are you writing this book, telling us?" And the reason is, and I don't want to come across at all as if I am a life coach. Is people who have trained years and years to give people that information. What I feel I am an expert in is being the first in a lot of things in my family, in my life, in my community. I've been the first, whether it was with late night, whether it was with YouTube, for a lot of things. And it has forced me to learn very unique lessons because of that amount of pressure, because of being in that situation. So that is what I'm offering it in this book. It's how to disassociate from those labels and titles and all the things you think you're supposed to live up to. And that's not to be confused with, oh, don't be ambitious. A lot of people are like, oh, so does that mean you're not gonna hustle hard? Does that mean you're not gonna be ambitious? Absolutely not. I was at set until midnight last night shooting. I'm still working really hard. But the difference is, I don't think I am all of those things. I understand that I'm a complete human being. That makes YouTube videos. That shoots on a show. That was a late night host. I am not the late night host. Like, I am a complete human already. I think that's what's really dangerous about creators, is that because there's no HR and there's no person, we make our identity our views and our identity our content. And I just think it's a really tricky place to be.
It can be super toxic, for sure. But I like what you said. There was another bit in the book that I really liked where you said, in order to give your best, you have to be your best self, you say. And I love that, because I do think that so many artists think they have to be struggling, or they have to be, starving artists, struggling artists, in order to create compelling work. But the fact of the matter is, if you want longevity in this career, you have to be a healthy, whole person. You have to have a network that is supportive, a community, an identity separate from your work.
Yep.
And then you create your best sketches. Then you create, your best
I also feel like
monologues. And
there's something to be said about when you are having fun, you create the best things. But you cannot be having fun if you have sucked the fun out of things because you were so run down. And so I again go back to, like, I'm not suggesting that every single day now you need to take out 3 hours to meditate, and now you need to tell your boss you can't do something because work-life balance. Let's be real. That's a lot of people don't have that privilege. However, what I am saying is that make sure your energy check is balanced. I'm not gonna have time every day to be like, let me check in on myself. I'm not gonna have that privilege.
Let me recenter myself.
But come the end of July, there's gonna be a week or two where I'm like, I'm now gonna rebalance the checkbook. I am going to do self-care. I'm saying that's important, at least considering that there's ebbs and flows, and that we can have that type of balance. Doesn't need to be every single day. I encourage us to think that way, because creators don't do that. They'll just go until the end of time. Checks
and balances, gain some perspective. On the topic of you shooting a show, though, I love your career. First off, I love your career path. I love that it's self-taught, that it goes from YouTube. I feel like it really mirrors kind of what I did. Like, I really, really struggled to get in the acting industry, so I started the YouTube channel just as a way to hone my skills, really. And then it turned into a thing that got me acting jobs.
Yeah.
And of course, you've now been on, you've been on Dollface, and you had your own late night show, and now you're on Canada's Got Talent. What is it like going from YouTube to television? What are your preferences? What are the differences?
Ask her if she likes being on TV.
I literally just did.
How was I supposed to know? I just got here.
So there's for me, there's things I like and there's things I don't like. The things I definitely do not like, and why I love YouTube, is that you can completely be in control of your creative vision. There's so much red tape when you're shooting for TV and movie that
everything takes so long.
Everything takes so long. It has to go through legal, it has to go through S&P, it has to go through the head. There's like so many cooks in the kitchen where if you think something is really funny, by the time it goes through all the people it needs to go through, it has been beaten and broken and watered down and turn into something totally different.
Yeah.
So that's why